Now, I want to point out here, because we are talking about historical bedrock, that's what's, we're putting an emphasis on. Every text that we've looked at so far in terms of Paul, in Paul's letters, have been undisputed letters of Paul. In other words, scholars across the board, there is a heterogeneous, unanimous consensus that Paul wrote these letters. Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Philippians, and then there's also 1 Thessalonians and Philemon in there. So there's 7 undisputed letters of Paul. We've only quoted from them thus far. Colossians is not one of those undisputed letters. Its authorship is disputed. You have some like, prior to the 1960s, you had, I think there was one scholar that did a bean count and said the majority of scholars think that Colossians was written by Paul. And then you've got Raymond Brown in the 1990s, I believe it was. He appealed to someone who wrote, I think it was in the 70s. I've got his book on my shelf, but I don't recall what it is. And he said the majority of scholars in this project he did, the majority of scholars do not think that Paul wrote Colossians. But then later on, at least a decade later, you have Ben Witherington, who writes a commentary on Colossians, saying the majority of critical scholars today do think that Paul wrote Colossians. Well, in any sense, I think we can say that it is a disputed letter of Paul. And probably, let's just be safe and say maybe half of the scholars today think Paul wrote it. The other half do not think. So whatever the majority opinion is on Colossians, it's not a substantial one. It's just a bare majority.